2 points high, low. No. High, low. It reached 2 points low. Alright, so we got rain yesterday and the day before that and the day before that. It's really wet out there. The wheat we think is dry enough to cut. The fields are not dry enough, but there's another chance of rain tomorrow. So we got to try something. We got to see if we can get in there, get some of it cut. The weather is just not cooperating. There's pretty much a chance of rain for the next week. We got to try something. So this farm is some pretty heavy ground. It's poorly drained. It does have some tile in it, but it's old tile, and it probably doesn't work very well anymore. So when it gets wet, it stays wet for a while. And now that we got this wheat on it, all of this cover is just holding that moisture down. And you know, without a week of weather like this, it's just not gonna dry out. So we're just gonna go for it. We're gonna dive in, we're gonna see what our moisture is. If we rut it up, we rut it up. We don't really have a choice at this point. It's seed wheat, we gotta take it out before we start losing quality, and we just gotta go for it. When you bite into it, it bites pretty hard. I don't know. It seems like it's dry enough. The only way to know is, like I said, get in there, get a sample. You can't hand shell enough wheat to get enough to do a can sample like you can with corn. So that's the only way we're gonna know. Let's get that thing out in the field, get a little bit in the tank and see what we got. Well, either he's got enough for a sample, it got too wet, or he broke something. Guess we'll find out. Well, I got bad news. Tested 17.2% moisture. We need it 15 or less. There's not enough daylight left to get it dry for today. Let's see, it's already 3:30. The sun's kind of gone away. It's still breezy. I don't know, I don't think we're gonna get it down to 15 by the end of the day, and rain tomorrow. So, I don't know. We are gonna dump this into the grain cart, tarp it, and move the combine out of the field for tonight. I don't know. We'll see what happens, I guess.
That was Brett. You guys cutting? Yeah, it's too wet.
A neighbor of ours has some wheat. I guess he just called Dad wondering what the moisture is. And he said too wet. It's too wet. Everyone's in the same boat. There's a lot of wheat to cut in the air. Well, I guess there's not a lot. Everybody kind of got that day and a half or whatever it was last week and then got rained out. So we are going to take the combine over here to the building site, park it for the night. Oh, that was rough. And I guess we'll just see what happens tomorrow. It's not looking good for weather, so I don't know. Maybe we won't get any rain. Who knows? Okay, it's the next day. We're gonna try and cut wheat again. Actually, we already tried. It was 16.8 this morning. Dad just tried it again a little bit after lunch. It was, what did he say? 15.8. So it's coming down. We got a little bit of sunshine. There's rain coming tonight, so we might push it a little bit. We want it to be under 15, but we might push it just a little bit. We really shouldn't. This morning, I got a little bit of our beans planted. We got the air seeder on the 4-wheel drive, and I needed it in a few spots because it's definitely plenty wet out there. So we got most of this field planted. This is 30 acres. We have some straw and windrows still that got rained on, and we didn't get it baled before it got rained on, obviously, so I had to plant around them. So probably got 20 acres of that planted. The other field in front of the house, probably got 2/3 of it planted by the time I had to go around some mud spots. But we really want to get some beans in the ground because that really helps with the cash flow of this whole growing wheat thing. So got to get as many beans in the ground as we can before it gets too late. Dad just came back and got the truck. He's going to take it to the field. We're going to go get started, see what we got for moisture now. While we're out in the field, Dad's just dumping the little bit he cut this morning. I'm going to hop in with him and see what we got here. Alright, we made a round. Man, is it muddy out here. We just about got stuck. We got a little bit cut. I'm going to take another sample to town just to be sure. The combine is reading like 13.5, and it reads 2 points high, low. No. High? Low. It reads 2 points low, so it should be around 15.5. I'm thinking if we can get it to that point, we're just going to go because we don't have a whole lot of time here. 14.8%, perfect. And I got a dum-dum. Ooh, it's muddy out here. Hope we don't get anything stuck. It'll make for a good YouTube video though if we do. That poor tractor. That's all the mud from 2 trips from that end of the field to this end of the field. It is just a swamp in the middle. Man, I don't think it's ever going to dry out enough for us to actually not tear anything up. Thankfully, the wheat's dry enough, and so we no-tilled our wheat, and I'm thinking that's keeping the ground solid enough that we can get across it with the combine. We're still cutting tracks, but we've had instances before where we planted into, say, chisel plowed ground, and you just sink down as deep as you worked it. So thankfully we no-tilled this. I think that really helped. All I'm really doing is coming back with the auger cart, getting one dump off the combine and bringing it back to the truck. That way he doesn't have to bring it back, and once he starts getting quite a bit in the combine, it starts cutting tracks more and he has more trouble. So we're trying to keep the combine light, keep the cart light, just doing the best we can. We're really getting down to the wire here. He's probably got 5 acres cut already, so about 15 acres left. Really hoping we can get it done today. wonder who's gonna wash all this equipment when we get done. Probably gonna be me. Great. Just cutting some more tracks. So I guess, I mean, cutting tracks is never really good. It causes compaction and all that, but I guess one good thing about it is I was planning on chiseling this farm because it's got some pretty bad ridges in it, and I didn't realize it last year when I farmed it. It needs to be worked. It needs to be leveled out. I like doing no-till as much as I can, but this field's got to be worked. Now it's definitely going to have to be worked because we're going to have tracks all over the place. So I'm going to bring this wheat back to the truck, and then that'll be enough to fill that truck. Then I'll probably run it home and get the other one, and we really don't have much left. There's a couple of rounds left on this side of the field. He's finishing up the last pass over there, and it's looking like we might get this done today. Knock on wood. I don't like loading on the road like this, but as wet as it is, we can't get the trucks in the field, so we don't have much of a choice. So we're not gonna dump this wheat in the bin just yet. We're actually gonna put this wheat in a different bin. The wheat we already had harvested, we're putting it in that one because it has the stirrators. But this wheat that we just harvested got rained on, and they're kind of worried about the germination. So we're gonna put it in that far bin over there, but we don't have time to really set up the auger, and all the wheat that we have left to cut, we can fit on the truck. So we're just gonna concentrate on getting the wheat out of the field, and then we'll probably end up just putting it in the bin tomorrow. I'm having trouble with this tarp. So if you just take something and tap on this thing, it's like an inline fuse, or I don't know what you call it, circuit breaker thingy. It usually goes. Ah. Well, is it gonna go? I think we're okay. Well, Dad had to back out of this spot. He had a little bit on the combine, so I met him over on the hill and he got emptied out. I don't know, maybe he's gonna try and go back over it. I'm gonna get over on this side out of the duck. Got most of it. Oh man, this is great. So I kind of mentioned it before that really I'm hoping to get soybeans planted in here. If you do some calculations on how much money you can make growing wheat, it really helps your bottom line if you can get soybeans planted. So this is a farm that I rent, so I pay the owner a rent to be able to farm this land. So after you get the wheat off, your rent's already paid, you've already made a little bit of money. If you can get beans planted timely, and even if you don't get very good beans, if you get 20, 25 bushel beans or better, it still is just pretty much money in your pocket. All you gotta pay for is the seed. All those other expenses like fertilizer and rent are already paid. So you pay for the seed. The only thing is you can't insure a double crop. So if we get a frost and it wipes out all your beans, that's just on you. You're out the seed costs and your time. So it's always a gamble. Like I've said a million times, farming is a gamble. A lot of times we can get pretty decent beans if we get them planted up till about the 15th of July, which is today. If we can get them planted by the 20th, I'm gonna do it. If not, we'll figure something else out. Probably just plant a cover crop or something. I don't really know, but hoping to get beans planted. We're gonna try our best. Well, we're done. We got about, I don't know, 2-3 acres left. That's just, it's too wet, we can't get through it. He was just trying to climb that hill back there and had to back out of it, so we got as much as we can. We got more done than I thought we were going to, so we're gonna pack things up, move some equipment home. If we can cut this later, we'll just take it to town, to the elevator, because they're not gonna want it for seed at this point, because there's rain coming. It's gonna get rained on again. Quality is not gonna be good, but if we can get it later, we'll get it. If not, it is what it is. Well, Dad's taking the truck home. I'm gonna take the combine back and put it in the shed because we don't want it to get rained on again. Was not expecting to get done with wheat today. The way the weather was looking, it was gonna be cloudy all day, which it pretty much was, and the wheat tested 17% yesterday, so I didn't think it was gonna dry down as much as it did. Very thankful that it did, because there's a pretty good rain shower coming, and I think that was our last shot at getting it out in good enough quality to be seed wheat. So that being said, wheat harvest, I'm gonna call it done. It's done enough. We're not gonna fight it anymore. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed us playing around in the mud, and we'll see you on the next one.